Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a Paragon guide. I am Sylphin, and in this video, we are going to go through a beginner's guide on Dekker, the support caster. So, Dekker is a very interesting support hero. She does not heal the friendly team, but she provides a lot of crowd control and some interesting sort of dynamics. So, as it's a starter guide, go with the starter deck support energy damage. There is another Dekker cast energy damage, but we want this support deck just because I think that it is the better of the two decks. We're going to start off with a health potion, a mana potion, and this Scout's Ward. You're going to have to figure out what lane we want to be in. That Muriel should definitely be able to handle herself over there with her shields, and the Sevrog will need our help. So as I said before, Dekker helps her teammates as a support caster, not by healing, but or shielding necessarily, but she does do it through crowd control. That is kind of all what she is about. So this build is going to try to maximize that crowd control potential. The very first ability we are going to go for here is her E ability. It's going to help us just deal with these minions here, these lane minions here in the early game, the laning phase, and we're going to try to stand in between this Rampage here, forcing him to attack us. Doesn't look like it's going to work, however. Her E is one of the crucial parts of her build, definitely the second most important. It's an AoE bubble that applies a 100 max movement speed slow and deals 60 energy damage when it pops. So it doesn't deal it right away, but it does slow the enemy and then deal that 60 energy damage as you saw there. It's very important that you place it carefully, and you can certainly use it in different situations in different fashions. Why did we get the Scout's Ward? Simply because we need that vision if the enemy is trying to come here on our flank. So we need to put our Scout's Ward because it is visible to the enemy team in the shadow pad, making it temporarily invisible. So the second ability that we went with there was her Q ability. Definitely her, besides her ultimate, her most important ability for sure. It's called Stasis Bomb. It's a bouncing bomb that deals 75 energy damage and stuns the enemy for half a second. It's a lobbed ability, so it does bounce after you send it out onto the battlefield, and it's a little tricky to use. So here, I'm going to use it right here. You can see that if I can certainly lob it pretty high in the air and it'll go a fair distance, but once there we go. So I actually missed the minion wave. Sorry, apparently can't speak. And it takes a little time to get used to, but it does bounce. It does have some interesting sort of dynamics. So this is great for securing kills here. You can see you can use a very long range there, as you can see, and is one of her very key abilities by far. The last ability that we went with was her right click, called Rocket Boots. It's a directional leap that grants nearby allies 150 movement speed, and also obviously sends you flying in a certain direction. Now, I honestly don't remember if it works like Twin Blasts, where you have to be, it's in the direction you are moving, or whether it's in the direction you are facing. Very important that you kind of distinguish that, because you don't want to be, in this situation, you don't want to be leaping towards the enemy when you are low health. So let's figure out what this is. I'm going to be moving backwards. I'll use my right click. Oh, low mana. So we will certainly figure out which one it is. Is it in the direction you're facing or in the direction you are moving? I have to be very careful here. Low on health. Dekker is very squishy. So you have to be very careful here in the early game. Trying to get those last hits will definitely skyrocket your power here in the middle, or here in the early game. And now we have 6 card power, almost level 5. That is our cue to go back to base. So with the first 6-card power, we are going to get the Lord's Ward here. Why are we getting the Ward? Simply because it provides us with more vision that is more reliable. With our 4-card power, we're going to get this health, this chrono, and this health. Cooldown reduction is going to make us able to use our abilities more often, and as you can see, they have slow, a movement speed boost, a stun. They're very, very crowd control focused abilities that will definitely be able to control the battlefield much more with that cooldown reduction. So we have reached level 5, and it's going to be very important that we pick up our ultimate. It's called Containment Fence. Fence that deals 45 energy damage and knocks enemies in if touched. The duration is 5 seconds. However, you can cancel the fence if you want to by re-clicking your ultimate. Very interesting ability that can absolutely change the course of a battle, because you fence in the enemy, and if they try to escape, when they touch the wall of the fence, they actually take that 45 energy damage. So if you can get somebody sandwiched between the terrain and the fence, they can actually take a rapid amount of damage, but that's certainly in a very limited use case scenario. As you can see, we are running out of mana very quick here just by using a few of our abilities, so it's going to be tough to really kind of use our abilities only when we need to and only when they are useful. As for skill priority, ladies and gentlemen, we want to focus on the early game here on our E, but definitely our Q is a very, very good ability. The issue is that it's hard to land on these minion waves. So I'm going to go equally my E and my Q here in the early game. So why is that Magus Ward so important? Simply because we get 2 wards instead of 1, and if you can see here, you deploy it, and then it goes invisible. The enemy cannot see that unless they put their own Shadow Ward on the battlefield, and then subsequently attack it to eliminate our Shadow Ward. It's a very good ability that you should, or card rather, that you should have at all points, making sure that you are using them, watching the minimap, providing that vision, and hopefully getting out of enemy games. Okay, so I am being super aggressive here on this Sparrow, and I'm going to show just the potential here for CC. She is slowed here. We used our Q to stun her, and I don't do the damage, but imagine if we had another friendly hero here. We would have been able to take her out for sure. Sorry for recording all of that not commentary there. I didn't realize it was on, so... there you can see, as we took down that tower, I rotated mid to protect our friendly tower here, always using good map awareness to just keep the advantage, keep your towers alive, and keep that advantage going in the early game. With 6 card points, we are going to go into the Chronomancer disc with some mana on it. So there are 2 of them here, ladies and gentlemen. One has, in the upgrades, a 3-point cast, 2-point cast, and 2-point mana. We need mana, if you haven't noticed. We really need that mana and a little bit of energy damage to keep us relevant here in this early game. I'm going to finish off this Lord's Ward with that advanced Chrono. Getting 15% cooldown reduction already is going to be a really good bonus for us. So we're going to pick the one with 3 mana upgrade, put it in our passive slot over here, and that will give us that mana that we need here in the early game, as casters do have a tough time with mana. Okay, so here's a good example of the Sevarog coming in for the gank, and I was able to, let's use our rocket boost here to give a speed boost to this Sevarog. The Gideon used his teleport previously, so I knew that he was trapped at least for a moment, and I was able to secure him in place with that fence, root him with the Q, and then slow him with the E. And that is exactly what you want to do here in just really providing your team with that utility here. With a Sparrow, I'm going to put the E behind her, forcing... I thought she was going to back up, but she was smart here, stayed back, and I think, will I be able to get her? Yeah, so there's that little bit of damage on that Wellspring Staff. Able to... Sorry, in the Chronomancer disc, Wellspring Staff comes later. And, yeah, so that little bit of damage keeps us relevant here in these team fights, enabling us to actually, you know, secure those kills when those ganks come, because that is really important. If your jungler, people that rotate around the map trying to, you know, get a 2v1 on the enemy, if that doesn't happen, then you are out a big time on some card power you otherwise would have had. So we only managed to get 3 card points, but that is okay. We're getting exactly what we want here, that mana. Don't be afraid to go back to base, especially if you're low in health, low in mana, when you only have 3 card points. That's okay if, you know, if the situation allows it. Just because you do want to get as much of an advantage with your card points as possible at all times. Something I also recommend is, as you are heading back to the middle of the map, help your junglers out by getting these harvesters that are filling up. In my experience, once you start to get a lot of harvesters on the map, the jungler has a hard time between, you know, roaming around and, oh, there we go, displacements and slows. They have a harder time trying to, you know, get all of the harvesters off the map. So do them a favor and pick them up. Now that we have 6 card points, we will be able to finish off this Chronomancer disc. We unfortunately have 2 card points and we can't quite get our next card, and that is simply okay. We will have to wait and just have a lot of card points for our next card, then we get it. So with that extra 225 mana from that 3-point mana upgrade, I'm able to stay in these engagements much, much longer than before. And we have pushed up this tower right up against it, been able to... Oh, can we secure the kill? So there's a slow on the Gideon, enabling us to secure the kill. Yeah, so just being able to completely stay in this lane, push down that tower to a little under 50% health has been very, very strong. So here's this Kalari. So you will be able to, you know when... so she used her only escape, and now she is stuck inside the fence. I was trying to wait for her to use her leap. And once you get more familiar with each character, you will know what abilities they have, what escapes they have, and you'll be able to better judge when you can use the fence to really keep them in place. Here's this rampage here. I don't think we have enough, just a Sevarog, Nuriel, and I. Trying to, yeah, so here I'm going to slow down this rampage. But I missed my Q to stun him, and he will simply regenerate all of that health. So very, very strong here. Oh, now I have to get away. I'm going to use my right click to see if that, yeah, that boost of speed here on that our friendly Muriel is going to enable her to really escape as well. So here, this Rampage wants to keep doing stuff, but let's stun him, slow him down. No, so no follow-up from my friendly team. As you can see, we will be very much able to enable our team to do damage, keep the enemy in places that we want them to be, and simply stun them to secure kills. That is the function of Muriel. She does that very, very well. Oh, this Gideon, can I knock him down? Oh, I missed. One thing you can do, ladies and gentlemen, is use your Q to stun Gideon out of his ultimate so that it is stopped free and securely. Wasn't able to hit him. Like I said, oh, can I stun this Gideon? Let's see. Yes, I can. Very good Q. But the Feng Mao was caught up there, not able to secure the kill. If that Feng Mao had just engaged a little bit, we would have secured the kill with our Q, and that is exactly what we want to do. 8 card points, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be massive for this next card that we want, the Pendulum of Lords. Why do we want this? Because look at all of this cooldown reduction. This is going to make us literally 35% cooldown reduction. We're going to be able to spend our abilities much more, being able to root the enemy, slow them down. I think you get the idea of what we are going for. It's going to absolutely make her a very powerful control hero on the battlefield. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm being very aggressive here. I don't actually even have my ultimate. I'm going to come right in here. We do have some health from our Pendulum of Lords, but not that much. So let's see. Yes, so I can come in here and secure the kill on this Sparrow, but look at this damage. I'm being very, very aggressive. Definitely would not recommend doing this, ladies and gentlemen. And looks like I will be able to barely escape. Something I would not recommend to do, because this Kalari is going to be able to do exactly that and take us out. I took a gamble, and it did not pay off. You can see that our damage is starting to fall off here in the mid-game. Definitely have to rely more on your abilities and your teammates to make the plays. 3-card power. Totally able to finish off this Pendulum of Lords. 40% cooldown reduction, the maximum you can actually have, ladies and gentlemen. So there's no point in getting this Chronomancer disc anymore, and we're going to go into other cards from here. So there is a combination that you can use to great effect with her abilities. Using her E to slow the enemy, making it easier to hit them with your Q, that then further stuns them into the damage that your E does when it expires. That combination right there is very, very strong to get a really, really strong amount of CCs. We're going to try it right here. Use that E into the Q there, but it doesn't look there is much follow-up from the enemy, from the friendly team. They do only have our Muriel here, another support character. So it looks like our damage is going to be a little bit limited. But once more, I'm going to try our combo here into the E into the R, or E into the Q, sorry, but is extremely effective with that gadget ultimate. Exactly what we want. Look, we're already able to use our combo once again, and with that mana that we have, we're trying to be a little bit too aggressive here. So just use my right click to get out. And because we have, yes, again, we have all of this mana, we're definitely going to be able, oh, here we go, it's slow from the Muriel into the E. Look at this, the combination able to finish off that Kalari. Very, very strong. We still, ladies and gentlemen, have about 40% health and about 25-30% of our mana left. You can see that the sustain on Dekker, when you can build a little bit of health here in the early game, and especially a lot of mana, very, very strong. The next card is one of my favorite that I really, really wish I could use more in my builds, is the Circlet of Health. So look at that unique passive. It grants 4.2 health regen to nearby allies. You are basically indirectly healing your allies. Very, very important. And because, ladies and gentlemen, we have 40% cooldown reduction, we're able to spend our abilities much more. We need some more mana. with 4 card points. Going to put 2 of these mana upgrades in here. Very, very strong. We do have the option of not fully upgrading this card simply because it doesn't have a fully upgraded bonus. So I think at this point we're going to leave this 3rd mana for later on in the build when we need that little bit more mana. So here we are coming in with our friendly team, and look, we are going to be able to heal them a fair amount, secure this kill on this Sparrow with our E and our stun. Look at that, able to finish that off. Now this little bit of healing that we will have, you can see will be used to great effect. Let's try to help this Rampage a little bit, or this Rampage, this Gadget here, pardon me, and be able to do that. So look at that. Look at all of this mana that we have. Look, we've barely used any of it. We're going to be able to really stay with our team, use that passive that we have on that Circlet of Health to great effect. Now, once again, I'm feeling a little bit aggressive here. Let's see what we can do with this Grim. We are not built for damage, but let's just see. Yeah, so we can't do very much with this Rampage heading in. So that's simply going to rocket boost away. And now that this Feng Mao's here, however, we're going to... Ooh, yeah, we're going to use our R into, or E into our Q, use the fence here to fence in this Rampage. He does have his escape, and we should probably focus a little bit more here on this Grim. The Feng Mao agrees. Let's secure this kill with our E into our Q that I missed. My goodness, and finish him off. Now that this Rampage is... I'm going to use my R, or my right click actually, to give my friendly team a boost. Hopefully my team follows through. There's my E into the right click. As you can see, use my boost here to get away from this Polari a little bit. I would suggest my team re-shifts their focus. Let's see if I can hit this Polari. Yes, I can to secure the kill. Can I? There we go. Wonderful work, ladies and gentlemen. Exactly the kind of stuff you want to do with Dekker. She is an absolute monster with that CC, with that control, and now, as you can see, with that sustain, with a little bit of health, and then that tons of mana, we're able to get just what a build so far in this beginning of the late game, for sure. Okay, let's see, a solo versus this Gideon. I thought that he was actually going to escape here. Let's just use our right click, as you can see, just to get straight out of that that ultimate. And since we have paid attention, we notice that he uses teleport to get out of there, so that EQ combination is going to be very, very strong. But being able to totally take him out, now that we have no health or mana potion, we'll be able to return, get some health, spend these 6 card points. As I said earlier, let's forego this advanced mana just because we have quite a bit of mana already, as you can see, able to really sustain here. The next card is this Elder Mage Amulet. The more advanced builds here for Dekker and Muriel, all of the really heavy support heroes, actually have them going very tanky, just so that they can stay alive, use their CC, use their shields, use their healing abilities to greater effect, and just stay in the battle and just, I'll be there. If you want to do damage, if you want to fulfill your purpose, you have to be alive to do so. So using this ability here, or this card rather, is going to meet that goal here in the late game. So let's see what we can do here. If this little bit of health can really help us here in this fight. It doesn't look like it. Sparrow just does way too much damage. So with that extra health here, you can see that it's going to really help us out, but that Sparrow does a lot of damage here. One thing that we can do, however, is simply just stay here in the background and use our abilities. That is exactly what we want to do against these heroes that can do quite a bit of damage. Simply use our E into the Q, that combination, as we know, try to catch her in this Muriel ultimate. Didn't manage to do just that. And let's see, yes, now that this Feng Mao is here, I'm going to use my right click to give everybody a speed boost. E into the Q here. Really, I'm going to put down the fence to secure the kill on this Sparrow. If she tries to escape, she's going to, yes, take that damage. And there you go. Not the greatest teamwork so far, and looks like the enemy is going to be pushing down that right lane, but that is a good showcase of just how much that Dekker can help in these team fights. So with 3 card points, we're able to get this greater health, 1,000 extra health here on this Elder Mage Amulet, really going to give us a little bit of sustain to stay in these fights and be a little bit more of a kind of a bully, you know. Yes, staying on the outskirts and trying to just use our abilities so that our teammates can get the advantage instead of us, but also just so maybe we can be a little bit more of a bully, maybe be a little bit more of a taunt for the enemy here in these team fights. So this Gideon went a little way too far, able to use the E into the Q, stun him into that tower damage. Exactly the combination that I've been kind of talking about. I feel like I'm repeating myself a little bit too much, so hopefully we are on the same page. Talking about strategy here in the end game, even in the late mid game, it's going to be very important for you to simply stay with your teammates. That is your biggest role and the biggest way in how you just remain functional. And also, it's going to be simply hard with the limited damage that you do to get last hits on the minion waves, to clear minion waves. It's going to be just that much more difficult for you to get card power on your own to really get these last bit of cards and upgrades for you. So sticking with your team, as you can see, getting kills, getting those shared card power from hero kills is going to be very, very important. Sticking just here with your team, as you can see, the Sevarog and Gadget. Sevarog's had a great combination with Dekker. He has his root, he has his knockback with his ultimate. You have your root with your Q, you have the stun with the Q, you have the slow with your E, you have the fence. Just an absolute crazy combination here. Sevarog with Gadget, even a Chimera there. I mean, she has a lot of potential to be very effective with a lot of heroes. And just to keep that in mind here, they're trying to stay with your teammates, you know, using your functionality for your friendly team to get advantages. 6 card power here, ladies and gentlemen. We are finally able to get our very last card, Staff of the Adamant. It gives us some more energy damage here in the late game, just to bring it up with all of the abilities we're throwing down on the battlefield. That energy damage won't hurt, but we do have health, and that is what we want here. That 100 health, and this greater health here is really going to just increase that tankiness that we very much need. In a more proper, you know, tanky support deck, you're going to have resistances, you're going to have physical armor and energy barrier mixed, also thrown in with your health. So you're going to be quite a bit more tanky, but this just health here with the starter deck is certainly very functional and should work very well for you. Here is a perfect example of good hero synchronization here. My fence complements Gadget's ultimate absolutely 100%. I keep them in a certain area, and Gadget's huge AoE ultimate absolutely does monstrous amounts of damage if you have a very good caster-built Gadget. I mean, the potential there for synchronization and just complementary abilities is huge. A good combination I see is a Dekker, a Faye, a Gadget, a Steel, and who else? All of them have, and the Gideon, that is one monster team with very good ultimates that work well together. The Dekker can secure the area that you want the ultimates to be in. The Steel can, there is a stun on the Clary from her ultimate, and it looks like my Gadget left me here to go left lane. I'm simply going to actually go with her, see if we can push down this inhibitor. As I was saying before, you have the Dekker that is able to secure the area that you want all of these AoE ultimates to be in, and then you have the Steel that can use his ultimate in a large area to then stun all the enemies so that they kind of go you know, up and down. And then you have the Faye that can use her ultimate to further keep the enemy in a certain area. You know, once Dekker's fence has worn off, or you can use her ultimate first to get the enemy into a certain area. Then you use her ultimate. I'm actually going to use my ultimate here, even though both of them have a way to get out. There's a flurry that goes down on this rampage. There we go. We'll be able to secure kill. Exactly what you want to do. Control the enemy into a certain area. Just really, really strong. So there's tons of ultimates that are going to be very, very powerful with Dekker. You can get a good team composition that works well together. All of their ultimates kind of compound with each other. It's going to be absolutely huge. So last 6 card power, we're going to really see this build come together. Staff of the Adamant, 400 more health for 3,600 health. Absolutely crazy. And finally, with some even more mana, so we can just spend our abilities like nothing, giving our heroes, our friendly team, that boost here from the rocket boots. Just going to be able to spend our abilities much, much more. So now that we are finally here at the enemy core, she is going to compound in usefulness, just because the enemy is going to be all concentrated here, trying to defend their core. We're just going to be able to be that much more effective. All of this health and this mana has been able to just keep us in these engagements so much longer. That cooldown reduction is able to just let us spam our abilities so much here. I mean, this Sparrow, really should be careful here. So she's going to get attacked here by our friendly minions. I'm going to keep her in this area here, use my E into my Q here. She's going to have to be careful, but it looks like she's actually doing way too much damage. This is exactly a sign of why we need resistances in a proper build, in a proper tanky build here with resistances. She would do much less damage, and we'd be able to stay alive for that much longer. There is the victory. Able to secure so many kills with that E into the Q combination, using your right click to give your speed boost to all of your enemy heroes, especially the melee heroes at Sevrog and Feng Mao were able to just stay toe-to-toe with the enemy, and just really, really strong. We started off with the Lord's Ward, just for that a little bit of advanced chrono and health, and primarily the wards in the early game. Very, very important. We went with the Chronomancer Disc for that mana that's very crucial to casters in the early game, and that little bit of cooldown reduction as well. Then into the Pendulum Lures for that tons of chrono reduction, cooldown reduction. Absolutely very important. My favorite card of all of these, the Circlet of Health, just to heal your friendly heroes and also give you that tons of mana that you need after all of that cooldown reduction. Into the Elder Mage Amulet and Staff of the Adamant for your tankiness there in the late game. What a build! I am, ladies and gentlemen, very, very surprised at these starter decks. If you can use them in this fashion and not what they recommend, I think that this is much better than the order that they recommend that you use. So hopefully that was very, very helpful. Hopefully this enables you to be very effective on the battlefield. Level her up, level other characters up as well. Get some more card packs so you can create a custom deck of your own. Which, if you would like some ideas, go to my channel, go to my hero build series, take a look at all of them. I think I've only done 1 or 2 Dekker builds, just because there's lots of other characters to do, and trying to do those. So if you liked the video, like it. If you dislike it, dislike it. Please leave a comment down in the section below why you disliked it, and also if you found this helpful, or if you have any tips for me, let me know. Please subscribe if you found this video enjoyable, or if you want to learn more. That is my job. I would love to do it in the future, so please subscribe. Like always, until next time, take care.